Okay, today we're going to talk a little bit about the installation of the Old Air A6 compressor replacement. This thing is made out of aluminum. There's the connector. Kind of funny looking. Looks like Frankenstein with the bolts going down through the clutch here. Never really understood that, but when this thing's engaged, you really can't tell much difference from when the clutch is not engaged when it's spinning. But it's a lot lighter. Of course, you see I've got it sitting on this plastic milk crate, and I'm not worrying about it crashing down. But here it is once it's installed. I have it already installed on my other car here. This one's been on here since summer of 2015. I did a lot of work this car back in 2015 before I went to the first gen Monte Carlo Eastern meet in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. So so far so good on this thing. What I wanted to talk mainly a little bit about was what I was told. It is not listed on the instructions. But what you want to do is you kind of want to stand this thing up or bolt it on the car, but I'll go ahead and do it some just so I don't forget. And you want to spin this clutch by hand. And they say that primes the compressor and gets the oil circulated everywhere. Because they say I've heard that if you don't do this, it'll burn up. It won't last. So always manually prime the compressor before the belt is installed and engine is turning. Here's the one that come off of it. The A6. I don't know what the thing weighs, but it's terrible. So it's basically a factory bolt-on part. Shouldn't have any trouble. Naturally, you want to keep up with your bolts. It should use all the factory bolts. And this is also a type of compressor. I'll explain what that is in a later video. Does not have anything to do with air conditioning. But that's where it'll be going back. So I just want to talk a little bit about the Old Air Products A6 replacement. So far so good on this thing. Naturally there's the limited warranty paperwork, and here's the part number and description there. So any questions, feel free to comment. You will notice a big difference going back with this thing, lifting it. Like I say, it's at least half the weight of that old A6, and I've got 4 years of good service out of the one on the white 70, and that car's driven a good bit, and it was driven an awful lot right after I put it on there. I drove that car every day for quite a while. Then I got my 57 and kind of started driving it about every day. But this car is getting ready to go through another redo. But we'll talk about that later, and I'll explain some of the issues and why I'm doing it. So stay tuned on that. But back to this compressor. There it is. Again, you want to manually spin the pulley to prime the compressor, and then you just want to be careful not to scratch your paint job when you're putting it back. Okay, that's all for now. I'm going to put the compressor on, and we may talk a little bit more about it at a later video.